Yeah, I don't want to sit there and look at myself. Can you turn that around?
Yeah, flip it around. We don't want to watch ourselves. Thank you. Makes us nervous. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Glenwood Coaches Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I'm your host, Noah Shelton, alongside with the head coach of the Glenwood Gators, Ryan Nelson. Ryan, thanks for being with us again, as you do every Monday night here at Mike and Ed's. Friday night, another wet one, had to swim down the field to score touchdowns, but another impressive showing by the Gators, especially offensively in the running game. What were your overall assessments in Glenwood's first home region win against Childersburg?
Yeah, well, first off, thank you for doing the show again, Noah. Glad to be back this Monday and glad to be back off another win. And, it wasn't the prettiest of things Friday night, but it was a great win for our football team. A great night for us to come out and just, really control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I know you talked about our running game and our offense, but I can't say enough about our defense. Just coming out early in the first half and really stoning their offense, giving us a short field right there to start the first quarter, and really just slowing down and not really slowing down, but stuffing our run game. And then offensively, the plan was probably about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, when they just continued to flood and flood. Really wasn't no option. We had to come out, really pack it in, line of scrimmage, and hand the ball to the backs. And credit to our O-line, they got off the rock, and JB and Kyle really ran hard. Fender had some good runs there too for us, and we just came out and played really well in the first half. Went up 36-6 at the half, and then kind of just subbed out the second half and try to get out of there, stay injury free, and get ready for the next one.
We talked a little bit last week about how the offensive or defensive game plans in game changed with the weather. Can you talk about how the prep and the pre-game warm-ups changed?
Yeah, we went out a little later than we usually do, strictly because of the rain. I didn't want to go out and have our guys come up and just be drenched out there. And a lot of times when that happens, you're playing rain games also, Noah, your cleats and your socks are a big concern. And it's almost like when your cleats get really wet and really soupy and soggy right there. It's almost like having a 5-10 pound plate on your feet trying to run with, so it's not fun at all. So we tried to avoid that a little bit, but it does change. And there was a little bit more wind than I thought, the other night too when we went out. So we knew throwing the football was going to be early, was going to be kind of out of the question. I wanted Pender to kind of go out there and really get comfortable early and see what he could and couldn't do with the wet ball. And, if we had to play in the second half a little bit more, I think we could have threw the ball a little bit more, which we did kind of that last drive before the half. But, it just so happens we didn't have to. And, again, great team win. Very happy for our football team to be 2-0 in the region, be 4-0 overall. So just building blocks week by week, trying to get better. And we got a big one this week.
Saw a couple wrinkles, I believe, on special teams. Saw Cam Dawson back to return a couple punts, kept it on a 2-point conversion play up the middle. Can you talk about his role, especially on special teams?
Yeah, man. Cam Dawson is a utility guy for us, and plays a big role in our offense also, and does great, catching punts. Does a good job for us holding also. So good to see him. We had a little wrinkle, Coach Boyd right there with a little play we call magic, just kind of wedged in there. We see they didn't like to get set on their field goal block team, so just something. We got probably about 5 or 6 of those little wrinkles in there from week to week we go in with. We don't always run them, but we have them in the game plan. So we just one we really liked last week, and we scored a second touchdown. A great call by Coach Boyd. We run in there, and I think he was untouched for the 2 points.
Speaking of Coach Boyd, can you talk, and Coach McConnell for that matter too, can you talk a little bit about the defensive performance that you mentioned at the beginning of the show?
Yeah, just outstanding. I can't say enough about Coach McConnell and Coach Boyd and Coach Smith and Coach Dunbar, Coach Jackson. I mean, our whole defensive staff. I mean, it's just right now those guys are doing a very good job right now of getting our guys lined up, and we're tackling really well. So our guys are playing hard, and I guarantee they'll be the first to tell you the players are really bought into what we're trying to do defensively, and we're flying around, and we're going to need it this week because we got a big tall task this week to stop their quarterback. So, but very happy with the way we played up front again on both sides of the ball, and hopefully we continue to do that.
Speaking of defense and hitting hard, Emory Davis had a heck of a game.
Yes,
has laid the lumber a couple of times. Can you talk about his athleticism, what he means to this defense?
Oh yeah, just he's just a ball player, and very quick, off the ball, first step. But the one thing I love about Emory's a football player. He's very intelligent out there playing football. Has played a lot of football. Love to see him, but the other night, I think he had 3 really huge hits where we was able to get him knock the running backs out. I think twice, and we knocked out 3 running backs in the first quarter. So something our defense was not something you want to see as a coach where kids get knocked out, but it's just the physicality we're playing at, and we out there laying the lumber. And one thing I love to see is us really, taking that level, that tempo of hitting people up as a head coach, and trying to punish people.
Moving up to the AHSAA, what does it mean to you to get off to such a good start, being 4-0 now, 2-0 in region play?
I think the moving up the public school, I think that's kind of overrated.
Yeah, a little overblown.
From a standpoint. I just, I come from old school, I guess. So whatever league we're playing in, we want to be 4-0. So we're playing football here, and the goal is to win every single week. And it's cliche. I say this all the time. In our program, we really take it week by week. It's a 1-0 mentality, and we try to put all of our eggs in a basket on Sunday to go defeat the opponent we're playing, and then hopefully it goes our way Friday night. If not, then we'll reset and recharge the batteries next Sunday for the next opponent. So very happy with our program right now. We are 4-0, and I don't know if a lot of people even gave us a chance to be 4-0 right now, but that's okay because I've told you this before. I know what kind of coaches we got. I know what kind of locker room we got. I know what kind of players we got. I know what kind of culture we got. So it's about work for us. We're gonna roll our sleeves up. That's who I am, and we're gonna try to do everything we can to control what we can control on a Sunday through a Thursday, and then hopefully give us the best chance to win on Friday.
Anything else you want to add to the Childersburg last Friday?
Well, just again, thank the crowd for coming out in such horrible conditions. Our field was able to hold up. We're back working on that again on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Something that, it's out of our hands, we can't control. But the good thing about, like I told our coaches on Sunday and I told our players on Sunday, we've played the 2 rain games now in the first 4 ball games. So one thing I always know, as it gets deep in the season, in the October and the Novembers, you're going to have to handle weather. And if you want to win big and you want to win championships, you got to be able to play in the cold and the rain and be able to run the football and stop the run. So that's a big thing for us to play in these type of ball games early. Hopefully later on in the year, we're accustomed to it and we can handle it.
All right, when we come back, we'll be joined by Markel Robinson and River Baker of the Glenwood Gators. This is the Glenwood Gators Coaches Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glen Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Zaxby's, Pepsi, and CVCC. We'll be right back.
Hey, on the mountain we've got a saying. Get off your... Touchdown! Woo! Mountain Dew!
My name is Quintia Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the Ambassador Scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university.
Glen Smith Chevrolet GMC presents a fantastic lineup of popular full-size SUVs and mid-size trucks. Compare side by side. Take your choice from new Chevrolet Tahoes and GMC Yukons, discounted up to $7,000 off. Or Chevy Colorado and GMC Canyons, discounted up to $5,000 off. Experience unmatched durability, powerful engines, and advanced technology. Choose your perfect vehicle today at Glen Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back to the Glenwood Gators Coaches Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glen Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Zaxby's, Pepsi, and CVCC. I'm joined by Ryan Nelson and River Baker and Markel Robinson of the Glenwood Gators. River, I want to start with you.
All right.
Been to Glenwood a little bit, played basketball as well, state champion. Can you talk about your development as an athlete at Glenwood in your time?
Yeah, I'd definitely say, my first ever varsity playing sport was Coach Nelson, his first year.
Yep.
And I think the most that I've learned is just, grow up. You can't be a kid forever. Sometimes you gotta just take it. I think he's helped me a lot with that, to be able to grow up and become a man.
Markel, what has Ryan Nelson meant to you in your football career, your athletic career so far?
I mean, ever since he's came and been our head coach, I mean, the whole atmosphere has changed. It's more about family playing together. It's not so much individualistic. You know, we're all a team. We all play for each other. We play for the G on our shirts, and that's just been the biggest thing for our team. It's led us to winning. Now we're 4-0 now, and hopefully 5-0 next week.
River, back to you. Talked to Mason McCrane last week about this wide receiver room. There's a lot of height, a lot of length, a lot of athleticism. Can you talk about what that means to the wide receiver room and how y'all built that?
I mean, yeah.
I can't help the height that much, but the athleticism and the speed.
Well, I think that Coach Alexander, he does a great job with us, you know, and you know, like me and Mason, you know, we're 2 tall guys, and we're just blessed, you know. But you know, we're gonna work every day. We don't take anything for granted, and you know, our mindset is just, you know, find something new every day to get better at. You know, just don't stay stagnant.
What was the biggest challenge that Childersburg presented you?
Probably for us, it's the worst weather we've ever had.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, the ball's slippery. We're all slipping, you know, falling on the grass. So I mean, we have to learn to play against adversity like that, because I mean, it's not going to be the only game with bad weather.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to Beulah, what have y'all seen from Beulah so far on film that can present some challenges?
Well, I'll definitely say, you know, they play together. You know, they're not individuals. You know, they want to win, and you know, I think they're really hyped to play us. You know, they're ready for it, and you know, we gotta be ready. You know, be able to take it and give back the same energy.
Yeah. He talked about getting in the zone on business trips, on road trips last week. How do y'all get in the zone when you're going on the road?
You know, I just try to sleep. You know, I don't try to do too much. You know, just chill out. You know, if I can't sleep, that's okay. But just don't really talk. Have my AirPods in, just do me.
Get that music going.
What's on?
Probably some young boy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What we have last week? Lil Baby.
Yeah, Lil Baby, yeah,
and
Makai,
Young
yeah.
Boy, and I forgot what Mason had going on.
What role have these 2 players played in your program so far?
Well, look, here's the thing I'll say about both of these guys. They were kind of my first class when I got here.
Yeah.
They were sophomores, so when I was able to come in, and both of these young men, you know, River does play basketball, but Markel, you know, he doesn't really play another sport, so they was able to grow through the first off season that we had together, and then grow, and they've been in the off-season program for the last 2-3 years. And these guys right here just mean the world to me. And I'll start with River. And you know, when I first got here, and you know, I remember River Baker, and like you said, he was a little boy back then. He was young, and he was he always had the height and the length and things like that. But from a mental standpoint, he was really had to develop and grow and things like that. And I can't say enough about his work ethic. And you know, we still got a lot of football to play. There's a lot more coming his way this year. But just to watch him grow up and really just get in the weight room and change his body and change his mentality. And he does such a wonderful job for us. He's been a 2-year starter for us right now. But he's just a blessing to be by. And one thing I'll tell you about River is just every morning or every time he walks in that building, he puts a smile on my face. And I love him to death, and he's got a bright future outside of football, inside of football, all that kind of stuff. And I just can't wait for him, you know, to come back 10 years from now and continue to support our program and things like that. But he's just done a wonderful job. And then, you know, workout warrior down there, Markel. Again, he's been in that weight room with us for since I've been here, and I can't say enough about Markel. And Markel's been a 2-year starter for us too. Just watch him develop, you know, as a D lineman. And you know, Markel, when I first got here, was a D lineman, but Markel's body was still growing. He was still a young guy, stuff like that. He got pushed around a little bit at nose his sophomore year, and then just to watch him develop going into his junior year. Played outstanding for us last year at D-line, was very dominant, been very dominant for us this year. Both of these guys are team leaders, and you know, hopefully we can continue to have great senior years with both of them, and both of them continue to make plays. But I can't say enough about both of these kids, what they've meant to me, and what they've meant to our program, just from a leadership and a locker room standpoint. They're there every single day. They're working their tails off every single day, and they come to work and they bring it every day. So. It's just been a pleasure to coach both of them, and hopefully we got a lot more great memories we can make together throughout this season. But I promise you, it's going to be sad to see these 2 leave right here when they graduate.
Anything you two guys would like to add about Coach Nelson or this team this year as we're about to be the halfway point of the season?
Well, I'll say something about our team is that we didn't really know what we're getting into, you know. I mean, of course, we're ready for the challenge, you know, but we didn't really understand. But with Coach Nelson, he always told us from day one this summer that we have a chance. We're going to be good. Just trust what he's saying, and it's all going to work out for us. And, you know, so far, of course, I'm not going to get ahead, but we are 4-0. We're 2-0 in the region, you know, and things are looking good right now.
And I'll say every day, every practice, we preach about the process. Ever since he's been here, we preach about working hard one day at a time, because the process we're working towards the bigger goal, which is state championship. We got to take that one day at a time, one lift at a time, one practice at a time, and that's just the best thing that's ever happened to us.
Awesome stuff, guys. River, Markel, thanks for joining us. When we come back, we're going to preview Glenwood's road trip to Beulah this Friday night. You're watching the Glenwood Coaches Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glenwood Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Pepsi, Zaxby's, and CVCC. We'll be right back.
Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Football time!
Set the tone. Kyle, tie your shoes, tie your shoes. Yeah, good job.
Woo! Yeah!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC offers popular full-size trucks with a legacy of strength and durability. Side by side, the new Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra 1500s, discounted up to $13,000 off. Or big, heavy-duty Chevy and GMC 2500s, discounted up to $8,000 off. Rugged durability, powerful engines, and advanced technology. Choose your perfect truck today at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
My name is Sergeant Jason Swells, and this is my CVCC story. Class sizes were not too large. The professors in each class had time to talk. It was almost like a one-on-one experience. CVCC did prepare me for my career. They made sure you knew the subject before you walked out of the class, before you took the test. They dedicated 100% of themselves to it. I can say for anybody who's deciding or thinking about going into criminal justice, CVCC got my vote all day long because they're on top of their game.
Football is back, and the only thing that makes it better is some delicious food from Zaxby's. They're a proud sponsor of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And I can tell you that everyone on this team loves their chicken. Get all the favorites, such as their signature chicken sandwich, or try the new chicken finger tacos with your favorite drink. From amazing salads, wings, chicken fingers, and some of the best drinks around, there isn't a better way to enjoy our broadcast without getting some fantastic meals from Zaxby's. Check out the two here in Phoenix City, one off Crawford Road and the other on US 80. Thank you again to Zaxby's for sponsoring Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and make sure you call them for all your catering and tailgating needs this football season.
Welcome back to the Glenwood Coaches Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glenwood Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Zaxby's, Pepsi, CVCC. Back with the head coach of the Glenwood Gators, Ryan Nelson. Beulah Friday night, road trip up to Beulah, not that far, about 30, 45 minutes. But what have you seen on film from them so far? Coming off a loss, Lee's got their first loss of the year. They're now 1-1 in region play. What have you seen from Beulah so far?
They got a really good football team. I can tell you that, Noah. It all starts with their quarterback. You know, and I know last year was a starting quarterback also. So very, very dynamic player. Kind of something we hadn't seen this year from that position. So we're gonna have to really tackle him. We're gonna have all of our eyes on him. Really good at running back also, got some speed there. And they got some very good athletic skill guys. So we're gonna have to come out and play and be ready to play first and foremost and play at a high level. So, but you know, it's just, this is the third of the last 4 weeks we're on the road. So, you know, kind of having to deal with that. No, it's not a long road trip, but it's still going on the road. So we're just trying to, you know, sit here. It's early in the week. It's Monday. So, you know, you go out and practice, and you have your normal Monday practice, and we'll have, you know, our normal Tuesday morning in the morning. So just trying to prepare like we always do. but we're expecting a tough, hard, physical football game. We're expecting their crowd to show up. Hopefully our crowd is going to show up, so hopefully it's going to be a great high school atmosphere for these kids to play in. And we're going to have to really, really, really play ball. You know, last week when they played Lee Scott, you know, they turned the ball over early on opening kickoff. They also had a punt blocked, and so they gave Lee Scott a couple short fields right there. So they do got a really good football team, and so we're going to have to play really sound in all three phases of the football in the football game to have a chance.
You mentioned their quarterback. They like to roll them out, like wheel routes, mesh patterns across the middle. How does your defense play against that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they like to move him a little bit. He's a very shifty runner from a standpoint. He gets in and out of the pocket. They do, like you said, move him a little bit, but you know, he's very good at when he drops back to pass too, kind of flushing up in the pocket and getting out and using his legs and running. I've also seen him make some really good throws. So he is a true definition of a dual threat guy. He can do it both, and like I said, we're gonna have our hands full with that. And you know, defensively, it's kind of, you know, complete opposite of what we've been seeing the last few weeks is these people really want to get in the trenches and really try to run the football and pound the rock. So we've got to go back and, you know, just make sure our rush lanes are really intact. And then also, you know, coverage-wise, we have to be really sound in the back end to play those guys. So hopefully we can come out and, again, corral him a little bit and, you know, get him to the ground and tackle him. That's a big key, too. And continue to just play sound football.
Moving over to the offensive side, the offensive guru, what have you seen from Beulah's defense that you think you might take advantage of?
They do a good job, and one thing I will say about, you know, them, they're very well coached on both sides of the ball. They're going to give you a couple different fronts. They give you different coverages. They just don't sit there in one front or one coverage. So, you know, we're going to have to get out there and kind of just adapt within the game and see how they're trying to play us. You know, kind of just do what we do. You know, I say this all the time. We're not going to change who we are or what we do or what our system is. We just got to have answers for what they're going to give us. Yeah.
When it comes to big games on the road, we talked about a little bit of the preparation and on the road trips. When you know you're going to a hostile environment, as I believe Beulah will be on Friday night,
yes.
How do you prepare your players for an environment like that?
Kind of what I try to do every day at practice, put a lot of pressure on them. And so, you know, that's one thing that I will say us as coaches that we try to do is put a lot of pressure on our guys at practice, make practice very uncomfortable for them from a communication standpoint, from a standpoint of how we practice and things like that, where it's very loud, a lot of music going on. A lot of people come to our practice and say it's chaos at times and things like that. But, you know, when you play in big ball games, when you play in loud crowds and things like that, you know, the way we do things every single day, hopefully we're accustomed to this kind of thing, so there's no kind of excuse when you get into big crowds and hostile environments because you sit there and you do it every single day.
What are you looking for from your team on Friday nights?
I want us to come out and play fast on both sides of the ball. I do. I want us to play at a very, very high level, but I want our speed and our tempo on both sides of the ball just be lightning fast. And, you know, I think, you know, right now defensively, if we can continue to tackle well in the open field, something we've been working on already, or we started today working on a lot, you know, I think if we can do that and corral the quarterback to give us a chance, and offensively, you know, we played in kind of 2 wet ball games, and so, you know, kind of being able to adjust. Hopefully we have a dry field, which, you know, all weather's saying this week, so hopefully we can get back to kind of being who we are and what we do. And I don't mean we're going to run or throw it any more than we did, but just kind of, you know, getting back to our offense and playing how we like to play.
Anything you want to add about the road trip to Beulah on Friday?
I'm challenging all the fans this week to come out. I mean, I know their crowd's going to show up. It's going to be a big home game for them. It's a 19-mile trip to their stadium from Glenwood High School. So I'm challenging our fans and all of our people to show up, support these kids. We got an opportunity to be 3-0 in the region, and you know, before we get back out of non-region next week, you know, play. But it's a big ball game for both schools, and it's going to be something that we're going to compete against Beulah a lot. You know, not only in football, but all of our other sports, whether it be in 19 miles and with us being in the same region and things like that. So I would think this would be the start of some kind of, you know, little rivalry that we could possibly have with it being so close to each other. But again, I just challenge our fans to show up and support these guys, and hopefully we can come out on top Friday night somehow.
Coach, as always, thank you for the time. When we come back, we got a special guest on the Coaches Show tonight, athletic trainer Kelly Edwards. The Glenwood Gators will join me after the break. This is the Glenwood Coaches Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Zaxby's, Pepsi, and CBCC. We'll be right back.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Hey, on the mountain we've got a saying. Get off your...
Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC presents a fantastic lineup of popular full-size SUVs and mid-size trucks. Compare side by side. Take your choice from new Chevrolet Tahoes and GMC Yukons discounted up to $7,000 off. Or Chevy Colorado and GMC Canyons discounted up to $5,000 off. Experience unmatched durability, powerful engines, and advanced technology. Choose your perfect vehicle today at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika.
Get ready to smile. Welcome back to the Glenwood Coaches Show with Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Zaxby's, Pepsi, CVCC, back at Mike and his Barbecue, and I'm with the athletics trainer for the Glenwood Gators football team, Kelly Edwards. Ms. Edwards, nice to have you on. Can you just talk a little bit about your role when it comes to this team and how you've bonded with this team and what they mean to you?
All right. So I have been at Glenwood about a year now.
Yeah.
I came in from working in the hospital setting, picked back up. They were the most welcoming people, first of all. It was great. I covered a couple of football games at the end of the season for them. Then I picked up heavy during basketball season, and Coach Purdue was the first one that I really had dealings with.
Everybody knows him.
It's been phenomenal. I couldn't have been more blessed with them.
So I want to get a little bit into like exactly what you do. So if you're on the sideline or on the side of a basketball game, either one, and you see a player go down, what's like the protocol and the first thing that you do when you run out there and check them?
First thing, I ask them, hey, what's wrong? What's up? You know, what's bothering you? That kind of gears me to go one direction. My guys are really honest about how they're feeling with me. It makes my job a lot easier. They are very communicative with me. I mean, I couldn't ask for better athletes to be dealing with, but I get out there, I do a quick eval, try to get them off on the sideline. Our team doctor, Jacob Dunn, he will be there on the sideline majority of the time. I'll have him do a quick eval. We make the decision, hey, can he go, can he not go? Let Coach Nelson know, and we deal with it on Sunday when we come in, get some treatment in, really evaluated it even more.
So concussions have obviously been a big point of emphasis when it comes to football, at least recently with the rise of concussions and stuff. Can you talk about the concussion evaluation process and what exactly you go through if you suspect a player might have one?
So the first thing you want to go through is like their list of symptoms. We have something called a SCAT-6 that athletic trainers like to follow. We go through that quick sideline. If they have even one symptom, it's, hey, you have a concussion, you're out for the rest of the game. Take their helmet, let coach know. Then we take a whole process of, you know, do they need to go to the hospital? Can they just go home? The severity of their symptoms kind of gears us toward how we need to go. Most of the time they're cleared to go home that night, rest. I'll follow up with them the next day. Once they see a doctor and they get cleared to start the return to play, then we have a 5-step process to get them back on the field. It's a long injury to deal with, but you can't take the brain for granted.
You mentioned the team doctor. Can you talk a little bit about him?
So Jacob Dunn, he's been at Glenwood since, over a year now. He just opened his own practice, Columbus Orthopedic Associates. He's great. The kids love him. The parents love him. He's great. Anytime I need him, I just send him a quick text. We were just texting 2 minutes ago about an ankle brace. So he is massive line of communication with him. He's great. I think all the coaches love him. I know they want to keep him around. So it's made my job a lot easier.
Anything you'd like to add about your first year at Glenwood?
No, Glenwood's a great place. It's like a whole family.
Yeah. Well, I played golf in high school, so thankfully I didn't see athletic trainers much.
No, thankfully I don't deal much with the golf team.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Edwards.
Yeah, of course.
So that's going to do it for the Glenwood Coaches Show tonight. Of course, we'll be back on Monday night next week for the next edition of the Glenwood Coaches Show after the Gators travel to Beulah on Friday night. Georgia Alabama Sports Live, we got plenty of sports coming up this week. Softball tomorrow night, softball Thursday night, And of course, football Thursday night, Jordan and Spencer leading into a full night of football action on Friday night. For Miss Edwards, for Coach Nelson, for my producer Toygar, I've been Noah Shelton. This has been the Glenwood Coaches Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Elizabeth Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Pepsi, Zaxby's, and CVCC. We'll see you next week.
My name is Quintia Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the Ambassador Scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. My favorite part about my job is meeting patients every day. They will crack me up every day. They make my day better. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university. They actually take the time out for each student.
My name is Sergeant Jason Swells, and this is my CVCC